Still chair to the back. It's all legal. It's a miracle. Double 619.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding. A year ago, I made this exact kind of list and it was topped by both Jon Moxley and Luke Harper. So, you know, fingers incredibly crossed. It's a weird time in wrestling, as if the coronavirus wasn't shaping things up in the strangest of ways possible. The fact that WWE isn't the only prominent player in major American pro wrestling just isn't a thing that would have flown about a decade ago. With All Elite Wrestling, today's pro wrestlers have more options than ever before, and some of these wrestlers just might take on one of those new options. I'm D-Wicked from Watch WWE, and here's 10 WWE wrestlers who just might be on their way out the door, heading off to AEW. Number 10, Apollo Crews. Maybe not the best of timing to include Apollo on a list like this, seeing as for the first time in about 4 years, looks like they're actually kinda, sorta, maybe, not really, but sort of doing something with Apollo. But then again, he went 4 years untouched, so maybe he's a little bit better off somewhere else. Apollo Crews is one of those guys who just has way too much to not capitalize on. He's got the look, he's got the talent, he's got the enormous smile, he's just got the nicest looking teeth, and every single time he shows up on my television screen, Michael Cole is rushing to tell me how much of an athletic specimen Apollo Crews is. In fact, I think every time he's on TV, I hear commentary saying something along the lines of, "Oh man, you know, Apollo Crews, he really has all the assets to become a world champion one day." And I could not agree more. In a different company. Go to AEW, Apollo.
Apollo fight through the pain. Crews with the slam.
Number 9, Lio Rush. Well, about 20 active wrestlers managed to find themselves headed out the door not too long ago. Let's start picking from that wide open pool. Out of the 20 or so names, Lio Rush very well might have the most potential out of anyone. Just like Apollo, Lio has just about every single trait of a fantastic professional wrestler. Yeah, sure, he's a little bit small, but adding weight would take away from the quickness that makes Lio Rush matches so uniquely entertaining. He's stupid charismatic and has the talking chops. The big difference between him and Apollo, aside from the charisma, is 7 years. Sure, Apollo's got plenty to offer up at 32, but Leo's sitting at just 25 years old right now. With at least like 2 decades still ahead of him, we've definitely not seen the best yet of Lio. So hopefully he can sign on to a major company like AEW that'll help transition him to that next stage of his career.
It's all set up for you, buddy.
Again with the jokes.
That's good.
He's good with the jokes.
Number 8, Mickie James. Did you also forget that this woman is still signed to the WWE? I sure did until researching for this very video. Genuinely, bit baffled she wasn't just kind of lumped in with those other 20 or so names. Last year during the summer, Mickie tore her ACL and obviously has been out of action ever since, but during her time off, she's taken a shot at the commentary game for Main Event. 40 years old and still trying out new all the proof I need to see that James is still someone who wants to advance in this business. And unfortunately, there's just no advancing for Mickie to do in WWE. Yeah, she's obviously a legend, but she's fallen into her slot, and even if she does return to the ring for a Raw or SmackDown, it won't be in a better position than she had before the injury. So I say shake things up and head to a company that'll treat you like the women's wrestling legend that you are. And apparently country singer legend.
I released my single, I Don't Give Up, which I wrote way back when and was waiting for the perfect time to release it.
Number 7, Zack Ryder. Not too sure how sure I am on this one, to be honest, but I have this odd feeling that either Zack Ryder or Heath Slater is going to end up getting signed to this company. If I had to go with one of them, I'm banking on Ryder. These two guys are just so good at naturally getting over with an audience. They both just feel too perfect of a fit for a company like AEW, especially how the company came to form. I know, it's not my best pick, but I'm sticking with it. Ryder is the more likely option over Heath, I'd say, as his good friendship with Cody is well documented. Plus, he's basically the dude who pioneered pro wrestling and social media's pairing, and AEW has quickly taken to that social game very well. So Ryder, once again, fits perfectly.
Woo Woo Kid with a drop kick to Cody Rhodes.
Number 6, Rusev. So of all the releases, I think it's pretty fair to say that Rusev, Carl Anderson, and Luke Gallows are probably going to have the most interest around them. In my opinion, they've got the most going for them and will also probably do the best off in the immediate future, but I just cannot see Gallows and Anderson going anywhere not named New Japan Pro Wrestling. That one's just too easy. And while the thought of Rusev in Japan is delicious, in AEW, Rusev, he just has, it's got to be the move, right? This is the move. Remember when All Elite's big roster problem was a lack of large men? Well, now you got your Lance Archer, you got your Brody Lee, and hopefully we can get a good old Alexander Rusev to take them both on in a triple threat. Book it, Vince. No, wait, no, that's...
And I may be single, you hear me out. I may be single, but I'm not alone because everything is... Rusev Day!
Number 5, Shorty G. Honestly, just because I had to say the word Shorty G out loud. How awful can a name get? Chad Gable is right there with Apollo and Leo in the potential department, yet we've actually gotten to see those flashes of Gable greatness before. His stint tag teaming with Jason Jordan pre-Kurt Angle as my father, weird times, as American Alpha was genuinely one of the best tag team pairings of the last decade. It's a shame what happened to Jordan, whose career is pretty guaranteed gone at this point, but Chad has so much to offer, and he's just not going to get to show it off in WWE. It's simple. He's short. He's not the biggest of boys, so they threw basketball shorts on him and turned him into a walking punchline. Good wrestler, bad company, please leave.
Amateur punk stuff. And roll through now. Cover. Oh, and actually he's going to go for the ankle again.
Oh, no.
Get the ropes. Shorty G.
Number 4, Cedric, or maybe Ricodrick. Ricodrick. Whichever you prefer, comment section, let me know. Here's a little bit of double entry for you, as both Cedric Alexander and Ricochet are taking on the number 4 spot. I think it's pretty obvious why they can occupy the same position. The two were recently thrown together into a tag team after doing a whole lot of nothing, especially on Cedric's end, and I don't know, I just don't see this one going anywhere. 9 out of 10 times when WWE pairs people up how they've paired these two up, it ends up pretty much dead in the water within a month. While I think it's fair to say Ricochet is the better, higher potential wrestler here, both men can absolutely bring some quality to whatever company they're signed to if given the opportunity. I just don't see those opportunities from the WWE.
Now setting him up.
Up he goes.
Oh, wow. Ouch.
Number 3, Kurt Angle. Hey ho, there's an odd one. Really didn't think Kurt Angle was going to be making this list. I've had plenty of discussions over where everyone who got released is going to end up, and at the end of each of those conversations, Kurt was usually a safe pick to just hold out on the furlough and come back to WWE whenever they decide to re-sign him. But I was thinking about it, and you know what? Kurt popping up in AEW would totally make sense. You remember when AEW brought out Bret Hart for a one-off just to reveal their world championship? Remember DDP showing up to help out Cody take on the Inner Circle, or Arn Anderson coming in for a one-off spine buster? Exactly like those moments. I don't think Kurt's going to be signing this new 3-year in-ring deal. He's pretty adamant that his in-ring career is curtains, but as far as some special one-off as a guest referee perhaps, I think that curtain's still open.
Ankle lock by Kurt Angle. Stephanie trying to hang on. Oh my.
Number 2, Rey Mysterio. In all fairness, trying to predict when people are going to uproot their life and switch jobs isn't the simplest of tasks. Kurt was at least realistic since he actually did get dropped from WWE, but Ray? Well, here's my thought process. Ray is still able to put on some of the best matches of his entire career at 45 years old. He's not going to be able to do that at 50. You only got a few years left to make the most impact you can, and again, there's a ceiling. There's just no way Ray is rising above a certain ceiling anymore in WWE. I'm kind of baffled still that they gave him the Brock Lesnar WWE title shot at Survivor Series, but that's it right there. That was probably Ray's late career kayfabe peak. He's not climbing that mountain again. He's also got a son to think about, a son who's getting dangerously close to competing in the ring himself. Is WWE really the best company to set up Dominic for? I don't know, that's not my parental decision, that's his deciding. But the fact that Ray worked the All-In show with the All Elite crew just a few months before AEW was announced, and again, just like Zack Ryder, a good friendship between Ray and Cody is prominent, I think this one could actually happen.
Still chair to the back. It's all legal. It's a miracle. Double 619.
And number 1, The Revolt. Okay, too many stupid entries in a row that probably aren't going to happen. It's time to get serious. because there's a revolt on the way. That's right, the Revival have already rebranded themselves and now go by The Revolt. And hot damn am I excited to see who they end up revolting against. Just like Rusev, I 100% could see the boys heading off to New Japan, and me sideways, there's some matchups I'd pay toppest dollar to witness, but come on, man. Cody and the Bucks have been teasing that feud for like 3 years now. Bucks versus FTR has to happen, and it will when the Revolt signs to AEW. And those are like 3 wrestlers who might actually go to AEW. I don't know. It's a fun list. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. To like the video, subscribe to the channel, and notifications, ring that bell.